It was I guess it was a culmination of a series of weather events that kind of, well, one that impacted me in terms of a personal experience with respect to the Lindsay snowstorm. So I was the oldest in my family. I was 10 years old, lived in the Bronx, lived in the Baychester section of the Bronx at the time. And I had a younger sister and my mom and a younger brother. My brother was just under 2 years old, and there was no milk. So the storm had just ended. So it was the next day. And when the next day, I mean, there were still cars stuck on I-95, buried in I-95, and there was a screaming 30 to 40 mile an hour wind. And well, somebody had to go out and get milk for the baby, and that was me. So I walked. Now at the time, Co-op City was under construction, and what happened was there's an overpass at exit. It used to be exit 4, and now I think the numbers have changed, but it is the Baychester Avenue exit, and there was an overpass that you can for pedestrians that you could walk over, which I did. And I just remember being, everything was white. All these cars were buried on the highway. When I came off the bridge, and Co-op City at the time, as I said, being under construction, there was all sorts of stuff going on. I took a step and fell into a 5-foot deep rectangular pit. Okay. And I was out there by myself and I could not climb out. And I had nothing to grip on. I was in this pit. And I just remember, shouting and calling out. I must have been in that pit for, I would say, a good hour before somebody heard me and came along and pulled me out. So, I mean, who knows if that person wasn't there? Would I be sitting here? I have no idea. But I mean, it was an event that kind of stuck to my head. And then I remember the Easter Sunday snowstorm. I think that was in 1970, the very next year.
1970, yep.
1970 at my grandmother's house in East Harlem at 119th and First Avenue, and looking out the window. And in Manhattan, of course, the roads were all wet. But when we got home to the Bronx, there was, 8 inches of snow on the ground. And it just sort of gradually kind of grew from that. I started watching TV weathercasters, and especially as I got into this into 1972, 1973, among some of the New York forecasters at the time was a young forecaster, Alan Casper, who was very different from all the other weather people. I mean, just very different. He was very much, he did a weathercast, which if you grew up in the New York market, it stood out like a sore thumb, and it just drew me, and it drew me to that. And I just said, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. And like Joe, in high school, I went to Cardinal Spellman High School in the Bronx. I put the forecasts up on the blackboard every day, and the same thing happened. It became sort of a school phenom thing where the other grades that were going into that classroom would see the forecast. The teachers would go in and see the forecast. So that just, I just knew from that early point, that that's where that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to be. And I've always was fascinated by snowstorms in particular. Just watching them, going out there when it was over with, and it always stuck to me. So that's kind of where my inspiration came from, really. It's just the world around me. It was a calling. I always say that it was a calling.